Alright, this is Video Pinball. And before I go any further, I already know there's people out there getting ready to comment, why are you even bothering with Video Pinball? Midnight Magic is a much better game. And actually, I agree, Midnight Magic is a much better pinball game. But that actually came out a few years after Video Pinball. And Video Pinball is the one I grew up playing. Now, to look at Video Pinball these days, there really isn't much to look at, really. It barely resembles a pinball machine. And even back when I was a kid playing this, I knew it didn't really resemble a pinball machine. But I liked it nonetheless. I mean, the ball bouncing around doesn't really seem like a pinball or how a pinball would react. The flippers hitting the ball are not accurate. There's no way I could get the ball to actually go anywhere remotely where I would hope it would go by hitting the flippers. The control is kind of awkward. You push left to hit the left flipper, you hit right to hit the right flipper, and you hit up to hit both flippers. Pushing down pushes the plunger down. Fire button fires. And actually, I did not know this for the longest time. Actually, when I was a kid, I never knew this. It wasn't until maybe 6 to 8 years ago I found out by holding the fire button down and moving the joystick, you can actually tilt or nudge the machine and tilt the machine if you do it enough times. And but actually, what it winds up looking like, it just looks like the ball is moving. It doesn't even seem like you're nudging the table. The ball just kind of flies, you know, whichever way you push the joystick. But I gotta have this game in my collection, like I said, because it is one of those games I grew up playing. As for game modes, there was really not much to speak of in the way of game mode. You've got two basic modes, and then multiply that by either one player or two player alternating. And that's it. And the only difference between the two modes is that when you accumulate the bumper values, in mode 1 they stay at where they are when you lose the ball, and in mode 2 they reset back to number 1. That is it. Now, like I was saying, it's kind of hard to make out what everything is supposed to be on the table. I mean, you obviously got the flippers, which are laying flat horizontal, which would actually never work in a real pinball machine. You've got what look like staircases in both sides of the screen, actually acting as the slingshots. You've got the bumpers, which just look like squares with numbers in them. And you've got two rollovers. One rollover accumulates numbers, which I actually don't know what they do. I think they're just I think you earn those points when you roll over them, and then you earn a bonus for as many as you get up during your single ball. And then you've got another one that has the Atari logo in it, and if you get it through there 4 times in one ball, you get an extra ball. Now you have the 3 diamonds at the top of the screen. I think those are supposed to be drop targets, and if you hit all drop targets, that's what increases the bumper value. And then you've got this diamond that appears in the center. It's one of those things where I think it's a drop target that's supposed to pop up randomly, and it causes the screen to flash. So if you get the ball going in between the lower 2 bumpers, and that thing happens to appear, the screen starts flashing like crazy. And actually, as annoying as it is, I like that effect. It'll drive you crazy, but I just like it. I can't explain it. And then you've got these 2 circular spinny things. Honestly, I don't know what those are supposed to be. I think if I had to guess that those are spinners, because they're spinning, but the ball doesn't, when it hits them, it doesn't react as if it was a spinner. It just seems like it's there to kind of shift the path of the ball. Yeah, and if you play it in difficulty mode A instead of B, you get these 2 holes in the bottom of the screen, which I think are supposed to be drain lanes. But if that was the case, they'd be on the outer drain lanes are usually on the opposite sides of the slingshots, and not in the middle. And honestly, as a kid, I never played that mode. And today, I don't like playing that mode. The odds of it going down there, if you know what you're doing, are pretty slim. I mean, you got to get pretty unlucky for it to go in there. In fact, there is an outlane now that I think about it, and it's all the way on the other side of the screen. And the odds of it hitting that are pretty remote too. pretty much you're going to be losing the ball as it goes down the center flippers. That's usually how you lose the ball. But honestly, it's a game where you just basically watch the ball bounce around. You try to control it a little bit by nudging, and you hit it with the flippers whenever it comes by. Because there ain't no way you're timing your flippers to get the ball to go where you want it to go. It's going to go wherever it wants. To be honest, the game has not aged well. To me, I'm really keeping this because of nostalgia, and I remember the times I remember all the times I had playing this game. But still, I got to keep this in my collection for nostalgia purpose. I don't think I could get rid of this. It was one of my favorite games back in the day. Really, I don't think it's really held up. It's lower on my list now than it was back then. But I still have some good memories playing this. And I will pop it again every now and again. I don't know how to explain it. I know the game really isn't that great, but it's still, just nostalgia always kicks in, and I always kind of think the game is better than it is. That's really the only way I can explain it. So, thanks everyone for watching. See you all next time. Bye.